Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am presenting a different format. I'm just sitting in my swing on the terrace and the sun was out just a few minutes ago, and I felt inspired to sit here and start doing a video. Let's see if the sun comes back, because it was super nice and I wanted to share it with you. Today I'm going to talk about why we stay in toxic relationships, and this is such an important topic to speak about, because we shouldn't simply judge ourselves for being in relationships that are less than perfect. But in order to heal and in order to create a healthy environment and healthy relationships in our lives, it's really important to understand why we're actually perpetuating dynamics that are not healthy and that are in some way toxic, maybe even abusive. And when we understand that, we can actually start to build healthy dynamics, whether that means healing the relationships that we're in or creating new relationships that are healthier. But before I get started on the topic, I want to remind you to subscribe if you want to learn more about mental health, manifestation, inner healing, and self-love. I'm posting videos every week. And also, if you are looking for one-on-one support and if you need this deeper support on your journey, then feel free to check out the link in my box below. I'm offering discovery calls so you can speak to me and we can see if it's actually a match. All right, now let's get started on the topic. We humans, of course, we all want to feel loved, we want to feel accepted, and we want to feel connected to other people. I think the most profound experiences that many of us make are in relationships, when you can really connect to someone, when somebody really gets you, somebody understands you, somebody sees you for who you are, and you feel special when you are in such a relationship, when you're in such a connection. And if you have experienced, let's say, trauma or suffering or pain in your past, and that pain is still within you, so maybe that pain has damaged your self-esteem, then falling in love or being in a connection or relationship or friendship that is making you feel love again can feel like a big relief to your daily experience. So what happens for many people who get into relationships that have a lot of unhealthy or maybe even abusive patterns is that when you're in such a dynamic, you feel the relief of not feeling loved in your day-to-day life because something has happened in the past that has cut you off from your own deep and profound self-love. And in that relationship, you feel, okay, I'm receiving more love than in my daily life. And because I feel that I receive connection and love here, I am willing to tolerate behavior that is actually crossing my boundaries or is unhealthy in some significant way for me. And I don't want to say that I don't want to be overcritical here. So every relationship goes through its up and down. So that's really not the point. But when I'm talking about toxic relationships, I mean relationships in which our values and our boundaries are crossed in a significant way, and where we really experience maybe emotional abuse or neglect. Let's see. Yeah, I'm reconnected now. So I don't know how long the disconnection lasted, but I said that when I'm talking about toxic relationships, I'm talking about relationships where our values and boundaries are crossed in a significant way, and they are really impacting our mental health. And I'm not a fan of blaming, so there are different reasons for why people show up and why we show up in toxic ways, and it's mostly due to trauma, to some pain that we've experienced and not processed, and now this behavior comes out in intimate relationships or friendships or in the family relationships and just impacts the way that we are showing up with other people, the way we're able to receive and give love to others. And when we are experiencing trauma, it's really not so easy to work through all of that. So that explains a little bit why toxic relationships exist in the first place. Now, just because there's a reason for why there's toxicity in relationships, it doesn't mean that we should tolerate that. Yes, it's important to be forgiving and to give people time to adjust to our values and the needs that we have, but also it's very, very important for our and for your mental health that you are not tolerating too much, and that you are not tolerating anything for too long. So don't say that if there happens a mistake in a relationship or something like that, or some things come up, that you shouldn't give people a second chance. But it's really important that you do not go too far with this, because when you start to deviate from your values a little bit and a little bit more and a little bit more, because you're seeking external validation, then it becomes very unhealthy. When you start to become dependent on someone else who doesn't have the same values as you have, who's not willing to work through emotional challenges with you, and who might not be able to work through their own trauma and do their inner work and inner healing, then it just becomes detrimental to your own mental health. So it's really, really important to be honest with yourself. And there's a fine line, because, of course, you want to develop together with people, you want to evolve, you want to be forgiving, you want to be honest with people and give them the chance to adjust and to make the changes that are necessary in order to create a healthy relationship. So really be honest to yourself. It's really an intuitive process of figuring out who can I be in relationship with and how close can a person be with me. I'm not a fan of cutting people out of my life. I'm very intuitive about that, and usually what I'm doing is I'm really feeling into myself, and when I feel that boundaries are crossed and I don't feel that things or dynamics are healthy for me, what I usually do is I just take a step back and then I communicate that to the other person, and sometimes that can already help change the dynamics. You're gonna find that out very intuitively, and maybe I'll make a video in the future where I talk exactly about the ways in which you can work on your relationships. If that's something that you're interested in, let me know in the comments. But this video is all about why we connect into toxic relationships in the first place. So I don't want to go too far with talking about how to repair relationships. So coming back to the why we are in toxic relationships, or why those dynamics are there. So it's because of past trauma, it's because of old pain, and it's mostly because we're not processing this pain within ourselves in the first place. Because what happens if you're not processing it, it's still in your subconscious mind, it's still affecting your self-image, and what happens is that you don't feel worthy of love, and you don't feel worthy of receiving everything that you desire, and that's going to be reflected in your external reality. Let's say I am hurt significantly and I'm not aware of that, I'm not healing it, then I'm gonna attract a partner or a friend who's mirroring that back to me, and who's making me aware of that inner wound. And that happens very, very on a very subconscious level, that we attract the people who are going to display the behavior that helps us heal. And sometimes this can be a painful process, because we don't want to become aware of all the pain that is there. But the moment that you start seeing the relationship as a reflection, and you start realizing, okay, what is this telling me about where I am on my journey, then you can start really allowing the pain to come up and start to embrace your wounded self, start to embrace your inner child that was feeling hurt, start to show up as the love that you were seeking in that relationship. And this is the number one reason that we really engage in toxicity or toxic relationships, is because we're seeking love. We're seeking love externally, when the only sustainable source for love is really inside of us. The relationships that you build will be a reflection of the love that you feel within yourself. And once you become love, once you become the source of love, you'll be able to be very wise about the connection that you build, about how you show up, and make sure that your inner wounds are not projected onto other people. And make sure that you walk in a pace that feels good and healthy to you, and not simply jump into new connections without connecting with yourself first. Yeah? So, your own pain, your own trauma, and the need for love. Those are really the things that I would recommend looking at if you want to build conscious and healthy relationships. And as I said, working through these old patterns that come from pain is not an easy thing to do. Once you connect to your own self-love, it's much easier, and it's gonna help you to really persist through and keep on deepening your connection with yourself. Self-love really is the profound shift that needs to happen. Once you love yourself, it's gonna be easy for you to leave toxic environments and to make sure to put the boundaries in place that were keeping you or attracting you to such environments in the first place. And again, I'm not meaning to be judgmental of anyone. Yeah, we are attracted to toxic environments probably because we got some inner work to do ourselves. But still, it's so important for you to be able to start to set those boundaries so you can create a safe space for yourself to heal and start connecting to people who also want to heal and to want to do that inner work. And once you've done that, you can start helping others heal as well. That's really how it works. Once you connect to your own heart, you can start to radiate that love and start to radiate that healing energy that will help you not only heal yourself but also help others on their journeys. But you need to be stable for yourself first. And once you're healing, you're also going to see through patterns that you were previously not seeing. You're going to recognize toxic behaviors. You're going to recognize when somebody is projecting onto you. And you're going to be able to say internally, no, thank you, I don't take that projection. I do not take that. I have a healthy self-esteem now. I'm loving myself. And if somebody else is projecting self-doubt or anything else onto me, I'm not going to take that. I'm simply not going to take it. I'm going to stay connected to my source of inner love. And once you're loving yourself, you're going to attract different behaviors. You're going to attract different relationships. You're going to slowly heal the relationships that you're in. And yeah, you're just going to feel much happier with yourself. It's about healing the relationship with yourself first. It's about being more loving and more healthy with yourself first. Healing the toxicity within yourself. Alright, this was a very spontaneous video, but I love speaking about this topic. Relationships really are such an important part in our lives, and it can be challenging when pain and trauma surface, but you can persist through that. You can heal yourself, you can heal your relational dynamics, you can create a beautiful relationships that you desire, you can create a life that you desire. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate that so much. And now I wish you a happy and a beautiful rest of your day. Bye bye.